Welcome back, my fellow music lovers and listeners. Welcome back to Multifaceted Media Entertainment. And today we got a brand new episode of my weekly track recap series. And this is where I go over all the tracks that I heard that came out over the past week. And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on every single one of them. And at the end, I'm going to choose which track is my favorite of the bunch that came out last week. So without further ado, you know how we do. Let's get into the video. Alright, so the first track I want to talk about is this track called Red Lights, and it's by Rini featuring Wale.
Driving with my windows down tonight.
And to be honest, I'd never heard of Rini before. I only clicked on this song because it had Wale as a feature, and I wasn't disappointed. The mix on this track is absolutely smooth. It's one of the smoothest tracks I've heard in quite a while, actually. And I think Rini's vocals fit quite well over this type of production, and Wale also delivers a pretty solid verse in my opinion as well. So yeah, I'm digging this one. Alright, so next up we have this track by Young Thug called TikTok, and it is a banger. It is fire, the beat is fire, Young Thug's flow is fire. It is overall a pretty nice track.
Okay, shit, I just woke up in an animal. I just woke up in a lamb.
Thugger also has some comical lyrics littered throughout the track as well, and he does switch up his vocal inflections from time to time. So yeah, pretty enjoyable track. So next up we have a brand new track by Lucky Daye teaming up with Earth, Wind and Fire, and actually it's a remix of Earth, Wind and Fire's original song called Can't Hide Love, but this version is called You Want My Love, and it's absolutely great. The mix on it is incredible, it's sparkly, and I think it fits the overall aesthetic of the track quite well. I think Lucky Daye delivers a great vocal performance, and I think his vocals meld well with that of the Earth, Wind and Fire group members. So yeah, I think this one is pretty great. Alright, so next up we have another great track, and this one is by James Blake, and it's called Life Is Not the Same. And this track is it's another one of those breathtaking ones, guys. The way how he switches from falsetto back into a lower vocal register when he needs to just showcases how much control he has over his voice, over his vocals. The production on the track is spacious, it's great, it fits the overall aesthetic of the song quite well as well. The messaging behind the song is also quite touching, so this one is a must listen in my opinion, guys. And I must say, if James continues to put out songs of this quality, he's gonna have an Album of the Year contender on his hands, no doubt. Alright, so next up we have this track by British rapper Shaybo featuring Jaden Smith, and this one is called My Sister.
He never treat you like a queen when you was bucking him, so it doesn't matter what you done or what you did for him.
And this track is actually pretty good too. It's kind of an empowerment track, kind of a message from one female friend to another, kind of encouraging them to, you know, get rid of their attachment to a past relationship that was unhealthy to them. So pretty decent message, and Jaden Smith does well on the chorus as well. So yeah, this one is another pretty good track in my opinion. Next up, we have a new track by Jaden Smith, and it's called Summer, and it is absolutely boring. It is underwhelming. Some comically bad bars all over it as well, and I didn't dig the production all that much either.
I got magic on my sleeve like I'm Dumbledore. Little goody two shoes, just get in trouble more.
I would like to say this track is disappointing, but I didn't really expect that much from it to begin with, so that's that. Alright, so next up we have this new track by Ed Sheeran, and it's called Visiting Hours. And while this track does have a beautiful messaging behind it, I do think the production leaves a lot to be desired, as is the case with a lot of Ed Sheeran tracks in my opinion. I mean, this track is all about loss and the loss of a loved one and having to deal with that. And I can see this one probably getting a little bit tear-jerky for some listeners, but it's just the production, man, just the production.
Things that you learn from me, got them all.
Alright, so next up we have this new track by Trippie Redd featuring Drake, and it's called Betrayal. And I don't hate it. I definitely think that the transition from Trippie Redd's verse right into Drake's verse was absolutely smooth. It's probably the smoothest transition I've ever heard on a damn track. The beat is definitely typically what you would hear from Trippie Redd. Nothing new there. Drake also takes some shots at Pusha T and Kanye on his verse as well, so you know, I guess that's that. And that's also been stirring up some controversy over the interwebs for the past couple of days, so yeah. But anyways, it's a pretty okay track for me. If you're a fan of Trippie Redd's, then you're most likely gonna love it.
I'm preaching to you, so listen. Only real ones with me, no mirage. She used her brain like curriculum.
Alright, so next up we have this new track, In the Dark by Swae and Jhené Aiko, and it's part of the Shang-Chi soundtrack. And the track started off absolutely underwhelming, with some underwhelming vocals by Swae and some so-so production. It wasn't until the song actually started progressing that the production kind of, you know, added some more layers and kind of sounded a little bit better, but, you know, Swae's vocals did not. And I wasn't a fan of Jhené Aiko's contribution to this track either, but I guess it's a part of a movie soundtrack, so who the hell really cares? Alright, and last but not least, because as underwhelming as this track might be, it's still not the worst track here. And this is a track called Don't Go by Skrillex, featuring Justin Bieber and Toliver.
Maybe that's why I need you on the regular. And if it wasn't, you know it would never work.
And to be honest, if Skrillex's name wasn't attached to it, I would have had no idea that he had anything to do with the production of this track at all, because it really doesn't sound like anything that he typically does, in my opinion here. But JB's vocals were just so-so. The track kind of picked up a little bit when Toliver stepped in, and there were some interesting choices in the production, but definitely not my favorite track at all. But yeah guys, that's about it for my weekly track recap as far as my favorite track goes. And this one is a tricky one because it's almost a toss-up between the Earth, Wind and Fire Lucky Day track and the new James Blake track. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to James Blake. But yeah guys, that's the end of the video. Were there any significant music releases that came out over the past week that I missed? Please let me know in the comment section below. Also, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video drops on the channel. Once again, this has been Multifaceted Media, and I'm signing out.